Welcome back to the show. Brenda joining us once again from Richard Hollingsworth, personal injury, and we are talking about summer activities, and we're still a little bit more information we want to be able to pass on about pools, backyard safety, and liability.
Yeah, so we were just talking off camera about how we both heard the same tip about your backyard pool. One of the things that happens that's quite tragic is the situation where there's lots of adults and lots of kids, but no adult is actually watching the pool, and accidents have happened in that context. And so one thing that is circulating is the idea of a water watcher is what I've heard. What was on guard?
Yes, it was on guard, and this is something that the City of Ottawa has incorporated into their plan with the Drowning Prevention Coalition.
Right.
But that was exactly that. It was the on guard, and someone actually...
It's a lanyard?
It was a lanyard,
yes.
And it gets passed on. If you're running in to go to the bathroom, if you're doing anything, someone at all times is wearing it.
Right, so if you're wearing it, you're on, and if you need to leave, you make sure somebody else is on. And I've seen them, I've seen quite serious ones. You can also have fun with it and, make it a whistle. Whoever's wearing the whistle is on guard. But it's really, really important if you're in charge of that pool that you make sure that there is actually a person whose job it is to be watching the people in the pool as opposed to just sipping the margarita. You can have your turn later.
Well, it's a reminder,
yeah.
Right? Because I've been in the backyards where it's just we feel comfortable because there's a group of people,
sure.
And so someone's going to say something, but you have a kid who's in the pool, and then unfortunately half of them are jumping around, and then you don't realize that someone's maybe kicked someone underneath or hit their head. It's a different situation.
Yeah, or if you don't know all the kids that well, and it turns out somebody's not that great a swimmer, and they go from the drop-off, from the shallow end to the deep end. I know my husband's had to jump in a couple of times to pull out kids that we didn't realize couldn't swim. And so you need to have that person on duty looking out.
Are there cases, I mean, you said the pool is your responsibility even if you're on vacation. Sometimes people know, and I've often heard this, they jump the fence, they head into pools.
Yes.
How important the liability, the insurance is to be able to protect yourself against that.
Yeah, if you have a swimming pool in your backyard, you really have to look at the amount of liability homeowners insurance that you have. I think I've said before, I personally have $5 million because I know that a serious brain injury, which is potentially going to happen in a pool, or a spinal cord injury if somebody dives in the shallow end, that is probably a $10 million claim. But if you have $5 million in insurance, you're probably going to be okay. If you have $1 million, which is what most people have, they may come after your house. I might come after your house if my client was injured on your premises and needed $10 million and you only had $1 million. So think about that and buy the most liability insurance that you can afford. And I think we were talking another day off camera about how increments of insurance actually are less expensive than you think.
Absolutely. And you taught me that, especially with the new laws that had been enforced with the driver, with our driving insurance, and how much we were actually covered. And so what you said, next time you do it, and I remembered to ask the question, and it was amazing. I was going up by $20 for the year and had increased it by $1 million with physiotherapy and medical treatments, and it doesn't take much, and it cover you for it was a very small increment to go up, but a lot more coverage at the other end.
Yeah, and a lot of brokers are kind of on autopilot, and they sort of sell you what most people buy. But just ask what the next level up is, because you will never regret having too much coverage. You will certainly find regret if you don't have enough and something goes wrong.
And also what you said, you want Brenda on your side. You don't want to be on the other side.
Because I have chicken houses, right? One guy, I took 2 houses. He had 2 properties, and I took both because my client needed that money. And it's not very nice to say, but we do that if we have to. And if there's not enough insurance, if somebody's going to bear the cost, it's going to be the person responsible for the accident, not the victim. So make sure you have that insurance.
Hopefully we put that in. It's taking ownership for that and being covered as well.
Yeah.
We were talking pools, we're talking boats, we're talking the amusement parks and all the activities. So just be safe and keep that in mind as you're heading up for all of your summer activities. If you're looking to contact them, they've got the 2 offices now. The first one at 1443 Woodruff Avenue. The second one having just opened up at 304 O'Connor Street. You can email them info@ottawalawfirm.ca, and of course the website www.askbrenda.ca.